Hello and welcome to the Rhythm Factory. I'm Eddie C, and together with my co-host Peter D, we're going to bring you in touch with people in and around the music business. This is the podcast that takes you up close and personal.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Rhythm Factory podcast. And right now we have a new guest, as always, with our podcast. Today we've got a good friend and talented musician, Mr. Patrick Drabe. And Patrick is a Dutch guitar player, producer, composer, and just a nice all-around guy.
I guess so, yeah.
Before we throw the question, maybe you want to tell a little bit about yourself before...
Yeah. Well, like you said, I'm a guitar player, of course, and a producer. And did lots of things. Right now I'm working in a studio in Loosdrecht, Lakeside Studio. Check it out.
Hey man, you make your plug. Yeah.
And I fill my days with all kinds of projects and still playing, mainly in Amsterdam, like Club Dauphine.
Okay.
You know that?
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah. We played together there.
Yeah, we did. For 6 years already,
Wow.
Every Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll hear a little bit more about that in a little bit. I got a question we want to ask you is, of course, we know you, and I know you as a session musician and guitar player, and you got your own studio that you're working in, and you're producing and composing. What do you prefer from those elements most? You prefer the live gigs, because there's always a lot of energy, and
yeah.
Or I know I've been with you in both situations where
Yeah.
you've been in the studio, and I've seen you at home there as well,
Yeah.
but. Maybe you can elaborate on it a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's always the thing. At some point, I'm thinking, I think this year I'm going to do just studio, And then I'm producing for a few months.
Yeah.
And then I think, I just miss playing. So I got to play. Yeah,
I know that feeling,
yeah.
man, yeah.
So it's always back and forth,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, basically the playing kind of keeps you inspired.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And not for the least, all my contacts, you get to meet them on the floor,
Oh,
so,
don't work in a live thing.
If I'm hanging on the telephone all day, that won't work.
No,
you gotta play.
No, sure.
You gotta talk
sure.
with people. Yeah.
You gotta talk with people and be in contact with them.
Yeah.
For the studio, you I know you've got your. Speaking about your studio, you've got some of the state of the art equipment that you're working with now, and also some good old fashioned.
We do, yes.
Machines, and so that's great.
Yeah,
man.
that's great. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
But both the live playing and the studio work will eventually work together, right? If you get the energy from the live vibe, you will also translate it in the studio, I guess.
Well, I got a vision of how what the best way is to record, and I always try to get the band take the best take.
Right.
With the drums, the bass, and the guitars and the keyboards.
All at once.
We play it all together. Yeah, together.
It's kind of a live vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you got that, you can do the overdubs. So because if you're going to staple track by track, you just miss a whole lot of bunch of energy and dynamics and stuff. So that's the reason why I always think it's best to do the rhythm section and take the best take of that one.
Sure.
And then go on.
Yeah, that's true.
I was wondering, Patrick. I was looking through your website, and in your bio there's a line or a statement, basically, where you say you have seen it all, and playing with a lot of artists all over the world, actually, with all the fun and the tragedy that is part of life.
Yeah, it is.
Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Well, I worked with some people who are a little bit older right now, and and the thing is, what you always see. No offense, Ed. The thing is, when you got to play with these people, they all had their moments of fame, the booze and the money and stuff, and there's always a moment that it will all fade away.
Yeah.
But these people trying to live the life, to live the dream, while there is no dream left, Mm-hmm. So, and that's tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen it lots of times. You know,
And how do you deal with it?
well, you just talk with them, of course, and just give them that feeling, you know, that it's all about the music.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. That's what it boils down to. It's about the music.
That's all. That's all there is to it. You know,
And the
so-
industry has changed.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. The industry
it
has
is,
changed so
yeah.
much in the past years. So people are you know, it's not like it used to be. Let's say back in the day, you go into the studio with a bunch of guys and you know you recorded not only the rhythm section, but there was the percussion, there was the second guitars, and a keyboard.
and there was money.
And there was money. There was
Yeah.
money, but money was being made. I mean, we had vinyl records, and you know that I still, you know, I know by Peter, my colleague. You know, he's got just like me these big collections of vinyl records. You know,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Yeah.
you put that vinyl on there, and you just that there's a special sound, man. There's a special
It
atmosphere.
is, it is. But you know what you're saying, the business changed, but people change as well.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
because back in the day, you know, we had a band,
Yeah,
and it's like Three Musketeers. You did it together.
right. That's
And right now, there's all those individual artists,
yeah,
and come on stage and won't give a look or nothing to you,
no,
and they expect that you're gonna play it right.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Even if they're,
Even if they're wrong,
if
yeah.
they're wrong, yeah. So,
Oh.
and that they're gonna take their moment of fame, you know.
Yeah,
and they're gonna stand there and do their thing, and the thing is, and that's the reason why sometimes they miss it, is because they're standing there for their ego, for the spotlight, you know.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna do the ad libs and stuff, and while I'm playing, I'm thinking, you're just gonna make it worse, you know.
Absolutely.
Just keep
Well,
it
You
open.
got to work together to make the magic.
Yeah,
That's
the whole
what-
point.
working
That's
together.
the thing.
So
That's
there
the
has
thing.
to be a connection
There
somehow.
has to be a connection,
yeah.
and they have to be able to put themselves open for it, you know.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
open up. Yeah.
Well, you know, I know you know you did this project with Erwin,
Yeah.
and was a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah,
and,
he is. Yeah.
and I saw that it was an acoustic guitar project that
Yeah.
you did.
We did. Yeah.
Which was a surprise. Well, not really a real surprise, because I mean I've seen you play acoustic before,
Yeah.
but I know you as the electric guy. You know,
That's right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
in this particular case, what I listened to was really, you know, heartwarming. And I'm thinking, okay, there was a certain message behind the album, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah.
With what was the title again? The
Lost and Found.
Lost and Found.
Yeah, Lost and Found.
I'll show it to the. It's right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Okay. And this particular album, of course, is something I can hear that it was a very personal thing from you. Also because of your roots.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
your Indonesian roots that you have, and
We're Indo brothers, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, as well.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you was, you know, is there like a special dream, or let's say that project that you
Yeah.
would like to do?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There is one, and actually, it's gonna start very soon.
Okay.
At least part one.
All right. Okay.
Well, you know, with Erwin, what we did is we recorded these songs. We didn't have a plan. We didn't have any songs even.
Okay.
You know, we just
All
went
right.
in the studio and we played. That's all.
Okay.
But you know, Erwin is the kind of guy who he doesn't make any concessions. He just plays, and he plays whatever he feels. So I learned from him, you know, because I'm this routine session guy.
Yeah.
And give me a paper and I play it for you. You know?
Right, exactly.
And Erwin, he doesn't need no paper, you know.
No,
He's
no.
just playing. And so I was talking with Erwin, and what we want to do really is going to Indonesia
Oh, fantastic.
and go to these islands and see the people around there to do their traditional thing.
Okay.
And we want to record it, and we want
Yeah.
to play with it.
Wow.
And we want to make some kind of documentary of it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know.
That's fantastic.
And the thing is that we are both a third generation Indonesian of Indo rockers. you know?
Yeah.
And we got a legacy
to fulfill.
Yeah, you know, and
All right.
there's no one in our generation who like the Tillman Brothers or the Blue Diamonds.
Yeah.
I've started off with the Blue Diamonds, but there's no legacy right now except for the people like me, Arnold and Marcel.
Right.
But you know, we're all producers and session musicians.
Exactly.
We none of us actually does our own thing. You know.
Yeah. Some of the traditional.
No, there's no tradition.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems to be getting lost in a lot of music nowadays, and it's. I looked at just yesterday evening. I was watching the movie, the story about James Brown, Get Up.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
You see how that whole scene has also changed,
Yeah,
and it's actually a movie. If you get a chance, you should check it out. A lot of history there. And
I actually played with his bass player, you know.
Okay.
I got it, and I've recorded him.
Oh,
And
fantastic!
that's to come back on the tragedy side of that, being a musician.
Right.
This guy, he lives in Holland actually, in Maartensdijk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Wow.
yeah. But you know, like Louis Johnson.
Yeah.
You met him too.
Yeah.
We
Also-
played with Louis Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah, and I know Lewis. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic bass player with the thumbs up from the
Yeah.
Johnson brothers. You know,
Yeah.
worked with Quincy Jones and all.
Yeah.
Fantastic bass player, and these guys, because of the success and the change in the industry and the change in the attitude of people, it's kind of sad because
it is, yeah.
They've gotten the frustration kicks in, and then there's the drugs and everything that folks get lost into, or whatever other demons that they have to face. And, it's quite unfortunate, and I hope that people, especially young people that are watching this podcast, one of our goals behind it is to get you to open up your eyes and your ears. This is why we ask people like Patrick on the show to come and to touch base not only with some of the new things that are happening, but also with some of the, bring you back to a little bit of history, and bring you back to the fact how important it is to make music from here, especially from here.
Yeah.
You can think it here, but
It's the only thing that counts
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah, you know, Eddie and I were talking. You were at my place, and we were talking about history and documentary, which we also watched together, or not together, but you saw it and I saw it. Is the Motown
Yeah, Funk
story?
Brothers.
The
yeah.
Funk
Yeah,
Brothers.
I saw it
Funk
too,
Brothers,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a tragic story,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
but
it is. Yeah,
you know, all those documentaries are very informative
Yeah.
and so good to watch for people.
yeah.
To know what the music business is about,
Yeah.
how it was in
Yeah.
the history, how it is now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about to hear that you are trying to make a documentary about your roots.
Yeah.
And I understand it's going to be a concept album, and the
Yeah.
other album, Lost and Found, is a concept album. I want to dive into it a little bit more. Can you tell a little bit more about the Lost and Found album, maybe about the title, and the other project we have up here? It's a Brooklyn Rhythm and Blues project.
Yeah. Well, let's start out with the Lost and Found album. Actually, it we didn't have any kind of plan. We just wanted to play, and we sat in the studio, and we were like, "Hey, I got a nice idea." I played a little, or Aaron plays a little. Hey, let's record that. That's all there is to it. But once we were working on it, we grow together to a certain sound, and the more we were recording, the music got more basic, because the chords, it's like A minor, G, D, that's it, so nothing fancy, so but the way like Aaron plays, he has this expressive kind of playing, and his guitar is his palette. He doesn't need anything, and it was really inspiring, and that's the reason why I was thinking, here's a guy who brings you back to what's it all about, and it's all about coming from the heart, and for that matter, we were thinking, we both are Indonesian or Indo, and in these improvisations, this stuff comes out. Like
Your roots.
the crunching music.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a little mix of what is it?
Puerto Rican? Or?
No, from Portugal.
Yeah.
The fado.
Fado,
yeah.
Yeah.
Fado and Eastern stuff and that kind of shit. So
Yeah. Well,
But is that, from the improvisation side, is that kind of, being lost somehow and then finding each
Yeah.
other? So is that what
yeah.
explains the title, or
Yeah.
is it just...
being lost and found, the meaning of that is actually because we both grew up in Holland. So there's always a certain kind of aspect that you don't know where you're from. But if we're going back to Indonesia, I was there in February and Erin was there. But in Indonesia, because we're mixed, you won't find your home there.
No.
Neither.
No.
So somewhere in between, there's our roots, and that's being lost,
Yeah.
And found means that we found each other, we found our generation, and we discovered that we are a mix of both cultures, and somehow we managed to give that some kind of new roots.
Right.
Well, knowing that is,
That-
makes a whole
makes
different.
sense,
It gives
yeah.
a different
That's good.
perspective when you listen to it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We have one last question for
Yeah.
you before we let you go. We always like to ask our artists for a little anecdote, something that was funny in the business that they had, or
Yeah.
outside of the business. But maybe you can tell us a little short.
You want a funny part or the part with women?
Well, whatever, whichever. Don't confuse him now with the guy from the Fast and the Furious. That's what we used to always say. You look like that guy in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Happens all the time.
Yeah. You're the guy from Fast and Furious. Oh, man. Fire away, my friend.
Yeah, but talking about funny stuff. Like I said, we're playing weekly in Club Dauphine, and I remember once we were playing with a singer, and she got this song, she brought her own guitar player or whatever. I can't remember, but it was really sensitive,
Yeah.
And the whole place, it was silent, It was.
Wow.
You know the club, right?
Yeah.
And it was silent.
Yeah.
And she,
because most of the time they're talking a lot. So that, and if it got quiet, then it must have been really deep.
So it was, it was really silent, and it was great. It was a great song, a great singer.
Yeah.
But Roger, our keyboard player,
Yeah, right. Roger
he was thinking, well, maybe some kind of pad or something like that. So he was like trying to listen to a sound like real soft,
Yeah.
And he was trying to working on his keyboard and like doing like this, and he touched the keyboard and
Right.
couldn't play anymore.
Oh, I can see that.
So he broke the silence.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
Just a sound is one thing.
Yeah.
But this was really loud.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that was really.
I mean, we
great,
can sit here and go on for another hour. We are watch our time. But we want to thank you very much, Patrick,
Thanks,
for
Thanks, guys.
coming to the show. And if you want to know any other information about Patrick, you can go to our website on Facebook, or you can write an email to the Rhythm Factory Podcast at gmail.com. And if you write us, we can bring you in contact with Patrick and the things that he's doing. Also to his website and everything. So that was it this week for the Rhythm Factory. I want to thank, as always, our special guest, Mr. Patrick Drabe, on my colleague on the right hand side there, my sidekick and good friend, Mr. Peter Dolphin. And once again, take care, have a musical day, and remember, take it from the heart.
That's the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.